What's up, y'all? My name is Seth Packan, and this is where small town brains talk about big city nonsense. This is Podunk Perspective. Podunk Perspective. We are back with my man, Matt Koziol. How we doing?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good, man. Did I say that right?
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Fantastic.
You got it better than the mailman. I promise you that.
So we were just talking. You're an artist in town. Mm-hmm. You've been here for
10 years.
10 years now. Yeah. So you've kind of seen it all.
Yeah, I have.
Tell us where you're from and how you got into music.
I'm originally from New Jersey, that throws a lot of people off.
Yeah.
But I usually tell people there's a lot more people that look and sound like me there than they think there are. Yeah, because one of my favorite TV shows truly is Jersey Shore. Mm-hmm. So everybody watches that. That or The Sopranos, and they think that's all you get. And truthfully, like, I grew up in the area where you would get most of that. But, there's more people that are just... I grew up in a very blue-collar town, very,
I can relate. Like, even, like, Michigan, where I'm from, it's very much like that, where, you think of Detroit, that's all you think about, but it's actually a lot more, You
have Upper Peninsula, which is like a different country.
Yeah, there's some great hunting up in Michigan. Yeah. Great fishing.
Same in New Jersey. And we have the whole beach, too, so it's like, you kind of get the gamut of all of it, but I've been playing music since I was 12, 13. Like, I played my first, paid gig at 14 years old.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
How'd you learn, to sing and play guitar?
Guitar, I learned... So my Aunt Joanne bought me a guitar for my 8th birthday because I was a little kid and I loved Elvis. Mm-hmm. I still do.
Big
and
Elvis
I wanted to be...
Look right behind you, bro.
Let me see. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah,
I'll just put that for the camera because this is the one. When I meet people and I shake their hand, they see the tattoo and they go, hell yeah, dude. I'm like, awesome. But yeah, so I loved Elvis as a kid, and my aunt bought me a guitar for my 8th birthday. I took lessons for a month, and the teacher was like, hey, your pinky's too small. You're never going to learn how to play guitar. Now I'm built like a center for the New York Giants. You know, my hands are plenty large. But, yeah, I mean, I put it down for a while. I'd always sang as a kid. Mm-hmm. I'm older. No, I don't want to say older, but I'm 37. So, when I was a kid, you still had, Saturday morning cartoons and things like that. And one thing I remember as a kid, it was I always heard Elvis, but I heard the California Raisins, which some people might be like, what is that? Mm-hmm. And I definitely date myself with a lot of this shit. But I remember hearing them sing Marvin Gaye for the first time when I was a child. And I was like, I love that. Yeah. And then I saw Elvis on TV, and I was like, man, I want to be him. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to play guitar. I wanted to sing. So I sang from when I was a kid. And my dad always sang in the car. My parents loved music.
Were they both musically inclined?
No. My dad just sang in the car. My grandfather apparently sang in church.
Okay.
I never knew about it. My mother, I think, played accordion when she was younger. Yeah. No one ever played guitar. But apparently, my grandmother's brothers, my mother's family, they all played mandolins and guitars and stuff like that. So I never met any of them. But so I sang since I was a kid. Did that all through elementary school, junior high, and high school. And then I was probably 12 when I picked the guitar back up again. Yeah. And how I figured it out was I had a buddy who had an acoustic guitar in his basement, and it was his brother's. And I remember I was down there, and I was like, hey, man, how much would you sell that for? And he goes, $10. He had no idea it was I had no idea it was his brother's.
Right.
But it was just this old beater Yamaha acoustic, and I was like, I want to learn how to play acoustic guitar. And I had this electric, it just didn't work. And so I bought the guitar for $10. I had to put $20 worth of parts on it. That was asking my mother for $1 million at the time.
Right.
And then I spent that entire summer, I think I was 12, just sitting playing guitar every day of the summer. Yeah. I didn't go out. I just sat on the porch and played.
Did you play sports
not in high school. No, I played. So, being the size that I am, I should have played football. I did not. I was in the marching band.
Okay.
Which was even more hilarious.
It makes sense, though.
It does. So, my mother, she works as the secretary for, the athletics in our hometown. Mm-hmm. And she did all, the concussion reports and broken bones. And she was like, you are not. She's like, these kids aren't going to remember their names in 5 years. I'm not letting you do that. So I'm on the sideline playing whatever, and the coaches are coming up going, hey, can he please suit up and play? And I was like, I don't want to go out there. I was like, I'll hit kids. That's fine, but I don't know what I'm doing. So no, I played on the golf team, which we were a ghetto school anyway, but we had a golf team, and it was hilarious because none of us had any right to be out there playing golf.
Right.
You know, but
can you golf now?
No, God, I'm terrible.
Really?
The last time I went out, my brother got into golf. My dad always golfed, and I went to the driving range with him, and I broke 2 driver heads on the ground.
That's great.
Like I just swung them, and I just hit, and they flew out, and I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna go back in the clubhouse and drink.
Well, I'm guessing there was no cuts on the golf team, but
no, God, no. And I wasn't good back then either. I was just like.
And listen, I'm not great. I'm talking. No. I'm just here talking.
Golf is one of those things I see people getting into, and I'm like, man, it was boring to me then. It's boring to me now. I'll pass. Yeah. Though I fish and I hunt, so I'm like, that's fine. I like doing things that like nobody else has to be around for.
No, my when I was super little, my grandpa really put me on fishing, and kind of got into middle school. iPads, friends, football, all that stuff was a little bit cooler than fishing at the moment. You know. But now, like in the last 3 to 4 years, especially moving here to Tennessee, I'm like, I enjoy it so much.
Where do you go?
Well, that's the thing is I don't have a good place here, but the few times that I have, so like we were out in where were we? Chattanooga.
Yeah.
So we were at so this guy's property. Long story short, it's like how many acres would you say it is, Nolan?
They have like 150 acres.
Yeah, 150 acres. So I mean, and they just put in it was a man-made pond, but filled with bass, and very similar to like what I had back home. And it just
so you knew how to fish it,
right? And it's great to like go out there and like just catch them and like just chill and like crack a beer and talk. Just relax. It's peaceful.
So I fished as a kid with my dad, my grandfather, my brother. And then it was probably during COVID where I was like, I need something to do outside because I don't want to sit inside. And I started fishing again. So I would go out to Marrowbone Lake, which is out here like near Jolton.
Yeah.
Which is fun like Pay Lake. And you don't really catch anything. You just kind of take a boat out and take beers and go have fun. But and then I got a kayak. I thought I was just going to bass fish all the time. And then I got into fly fishing. And that like changed my whole perspective on everything. Like, so there's the Caney Fork. I'm probably going to go tomorrow. Now that's going to be 60 degrees tomorrow.
I need to join you one of those times.
No, it's so much fun.
I've been having the itch. Like, I just been having the craving. Like, I haven't had many opportunities to, but, like, it's just,
Well, my dad always makes fun of me because, like, I'll go to a lake now and I'll bring a fly rod, and he's like, oh, come on. And I'm like, it's just more fun. Like, when I catch a fish on a fly rod, it's like, it's the most bare bones version of catching fish.
Right.
And it's so, like, I think it's so fun. And then, I got into hunting not long ago. My dad never hunted. And my buddy Rylan, he's up in Eastern Kentucky. And we have a big group of buddies out there. My buddy, one of my best friends, Jared, he has this group of guys that he went to high school with.
Right.
And they all invite me to this big camping trip that they do every year. I don't know why, but I think I'm fun or
do they
something.
Make you bring the guitar out and play a few songs?
No, I've just been drunk and I brought the guitar out. This year we do it every year, probably around like early September, October. And it's this one campground. We go there every year. And we used to be really wild. We used to have a real good time. Yeah. And now we're all old, and like half of them are parents. And like they're just there to finally get some sleep.
Right.
And I'm the only one just like, do you guys want another drink? And they're like, no. And I'm like, all right, I think I'm going to go to bed. And we're in bed by like 9. But no, I'll bring this year I brought the guitar, brought a mandolin. We just had bottles of booze everywhere, but we barely made it to like 9:30. And we were like, all right, we'll see you later. Oh. But so my buddy Rylan, who's one of those guys, got me into bow hunting. And I never thought it was something I would like to do, and it's just been awesome.
Crossbow?
No, compound.
Yeah.
So I've got a Darton sequel. It's like it was one of those things I didn't need to buy, but I got it, and I was really happy that I got it. But I was like, I don't need this, but it's awesome.
Right.
And but yeah, it's just a big old.
Do you like when you're like hunting or fishing or do you like find like you come up with some song ideas maybe out there while doing those type of things?
No, what's funny is like especially hunting, I'm either in the blind or up in the tree stand, and I'm just like quiet. I'm like the worst part is I'll wear like an Apple Watch just to keep like in case anything happens. I know that sounds stupid, but. Like, I'll just try to not look at my watch. I'll try to not be on my phone. I'll just try to sit in silence. Like, it's almost like when I do long drives, I don't listen to music.
Yeah.
And people are like, what do you do? I'm like, I just sit and quiet. And they're like, why? And I'm like, well, when you listen to music every day and you work with it every day, it's really nice to not hear it once in a while because then you miss it.
Yeah.
Or, like, you discover something new. So I'll turn on, like, I don't know. I'll turn on a podcast. I'll throw on like Netflix or something like that and watch it. But then I'll throw on like classical music and just put that on the background and just let it rip. And I'm like, this is fun. Yeah, it's just something like when you're cooking and you put on a show that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. It's the same thing.
In today's day, what would you say are some of your musical influencers or, people you look up to?
Oh, man. In today's world, are we talking country or just overall?
Just overall, yeah. Because I know obviously your music is more than just country.
Yeah. I do a lot of weird shit. Yeah, sometimes it's fun though. Stapleton was always a big one for me. I always liked his story. Luke Combs. So this was an old story. I had a buddy, Brandon, or was it Branson, Ireland. He and I used to do like the happy hour at Winners and Losers, like way back in the day. Well, I'm talking like 2015, 2016. And I remember seeing Luke Combs and it wasn't even his wife yet. It was his fiance or maybe his girlfriend. Yeah. And they walked in when we were playing Losers one night from like 11 to 2. And like Chris Young was there, Luke Combs was there. And I'm like, man, I know who these guys are. Yeah. And now they're just like skyrocketing. But I'm like, man, it's so wild to think that me and Branson were playing in the bars and I'm singing like, I don't know, Zach Brown covers in front of these dudes. It was wild. But yeah, like, so in the country world, I guess it's like Stapleton, Luke Combs. I think Cody Johnson's like one of the best singers that we have in the genre. But then, gosh, what else am I listening to? I'm a big Nickel Creek fan, always have been. Mm-hmm. And they were kind of my introduction into like bluegrass, even though they're kind of off-center bluegrass. Right. Infamous String Dusters are a great band. But then I listened to, when I was growing up too, I grew up in like central Jersey, so I was listening to pop punk and emo music. That was what we had at the time. Yeah. So I'll have friends send me covers. It's like, here's a Blink-182 style cover of a Taylor Swift song. I'm like, that's awesome. Or like guys like Ryan Adams. I love Ryan Adams, man. Yeah. He's just, his cover of the Taylor Swift record was in 1989. And then, but just like all his acoustic stuff too, I'm like, it's just so fun. Marcus King, I think is awesome. Oh, he's killer. Just guitar player. And I say this truthfully, and I mean this, because anybody who plays guitar and denies this fact is full of shit. Anybody from the age of like 25 to 40, if they don't say that they were inspired by John Mayer, I will call bullshit all day long. Because everybody was. Like, I watched him play. I saw him. It was a co-headlining tour with him and the Counting Crows. Yeah. And I just remember watching it and being like, this dude's awesome. Who is he? I need to know more.
Were just recently, we were watching this video of the John Mayer and Keith Urban video where they're just on
it's wild. Stage the Crossroads?
Dude, crazy.
Did you see the one of him and Brad Paisley?
No.
That's a cool one. So they did 2 Crossroads with him. It was him and Keith Urban and then him and Brad Paisley did one. They're dressed exactly the same. It's like 2007. Yeah. Like popped collared polos and jeans.
If they went back out on tour together and did something like that,
it would be so awesome. And like the thing with like I've seen every iteration of John Mayer. Like there was a record called Inside Wants Out. That was like he was in Georgia in Atlanta doing these like acoustic gigs, and this was like so the fun part about his first record, gosh, what's the dude's name? One of the band members from Zach Brown's band, Clay Cook, co-wrote the entire first John Mayer record. So like it was just him and him.
That's
and
wild,
they did
actually.
That. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. And then you figure Clay Cook goes and plays for Zach Brown. Yeah. But I've seen every iteration from like the young acoustic John Mayer to Continuum to John Mayer Trio to all like the Bob Dylan-y, Americana stuff, and then you go into Salbrock. And you're just kind of like, man, this dude has been all over. But I love that. Right. Like, I love that because he invents sounds. Yes. And I always loved, like, hearing new stuff from him. So, yeah, I think he's always been, like, top of the list guitar player-wise. And anybody who says that they haven't been inspired, I'm like, bullshit. Yeah, no, you are so full of it.
He definitely itches the ear.
Oh, man. But it's fun to see, like, young guitar players who are, like, Instagram guitar players. Yeah. And they sound like them, dress like them.
Well, yeah, or they're trying to do that.
Because for them, like they're being reintroduced to it a second time, right? Or like it's their first time for them, but for somebody like me, I'm like, it's cool to see kids who are 10 to 15 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And they're I call them babies, but they're babies. They're, just fresh out of high school or even still in high school. They might be 20 years younger than me. And they're just learning about John Mayer and they're deep diving into this stuff that when I was 13, I was like, man, this was new and it was cool.
And I think the cool part that I don't think that even the labels really know this yet, but like the younger generation is low-key so sick of the AI bullshit to where like they want a deep dive into like good music of like I'm spending $1,000 on a concert ticket. This guy better sound just like the record. And guess what? He better go around and play all the instruments. Yeah. I think that is cool for the fact of like there's still true talent out there. Yeah.
I was watching, did you see Colby Acuff? He's a buddy, and I watched him post something today about there's like the number one artist on Billboard right now. It's some AI generated country dude. Yeah. And it kind of sounds like Rag and Bone Man. It's just kind of like everything you'd ever hear in any like spin-off Yellowstone show, and it's like a generated song. And he doesn't go on this rant, but it was very true. He's like, man, I had more faith in humanity to not listen to this and make this the number one thing. Yep. And I think a little bit of it might be like whatever label it's signed to is pushing enough money to make it go number one, whatever. But it's like, people don't want to hear that.
Well, people want to hear real instruments and music. Yeah. It's like, that's coming back.
I heard somebody say that grunge is coming back, and I was like, pause. Like, I don't need that. But, like, cool. Yeah. Because, you see, like, the young punk scene coming back again, and, like, these kids are...
70s, 80s rock. I feel like that's kind of coming back, too, as well.
We've all seen the 90s country thing come in and, like, do that, which is awesome because you're seeing players. And what I love about the 90s country thing is it's getting older guys or older people the chance to go back and play with younger artists. So it's like they thought their career was over, and they're like, cool, I can hang it up. And they're going, oh, this guy wants to be like Keith Whitley, and I could do that.
Collabs, right? It's collabs that, I'm bringing an old name back, but I'm also excelling my career as a young artist,
Well, even the players, like a guy named Cowboy Eddie Long, pedal steel player, that dude, if he wanted to go play for somebody like a Zach Top, somebody wants to come in, or Jake Worthington, who I think Jake is the
Jake's
best.
Shit. Yeah, dude, Jake's the shit for sure.
Man, we were playing country to country. I think it was like 2 years ago, and I was in London. It was the first time I got to meet him, and his manager, I think at the time, was dating a guy named Parker Daniel, and I sold him a guitar. Like when I first moved in town, he was still in Belmont, so he was there playing, and Jake Worthington was on right after me, and I was like, I'm not starstruck, but I'm like, I've listened to your music so much. Right. So I'm just standing side stage, just like gawking at how good he is. Right. And then we bumped into each other again at like the CMAs, I think 2 years ago or a year ago. And we're just outside, and I'm like, man, you're just so good. Yeah. Like Texas Country has done, like beyond Wetzel, beyond Cody, Mike Ryan, who I always thought he had a song called Blink You'll Miss It USA that I thought was the greatest song.
Mike Ryan is one of the most underrated artists.
Oh, dude, 100%. I met somebody from Texas. She was from the Panhandle, and she turned me on. This was back in like 2017. Turned me and my buddy on to Shane Smith, and I did a couple of shows with him and told him this story. I was like, man, this girl introduced me to Geronimo randomly. I was in Atlanta, and I was like, oh, you're from Texas. Like, what Texas country do you like? And she's like, Mike Ryan, Shane Smith and the Saints, Wetzel, that, whatever. So I downloaded Geronimo. I downloaded Blink You'll Miss It. And I remember seeing Mike Ryan at the Exit Inn. It was probably like 2019. And it was like, it wasn't the biggest show because he was outside of Texas. Yeah. But it was like, it was cool seeing somebody like him who does so well. Right. And seeing him connect with these guys who are kind of pushing real big weight in country now. I'm just super happy for him because I think he's so good.
Dude, one of the other guys I remember listening to a lot in high school who was big in Texas country, who honestly I thought he was way bigger until I moved here. I guess, I thought he was like big, like US wise, but I guess he's, big in just Texas. But Josh Ward, man. Yeah. He's so talented. I mean, he's a little older guy, but really good. Like,
and that's what the funny part to me about Texas country is it's kind of like, I always put it in this bubble. I think one of the best writers, truly the best writers Nashville ever had, and it is such a shame we lost him to Texas again. Well, because he was from Texas, moved here, went back, was Zane Williams from the Wilder Blue. Okay, yeah. Dude, this guy has a song called
Luke Combs was a big supporter of him.
Yes. Yeah, I think they're all signed the same management. But so the Wilder Blue is like the third iteration of what Zane Williams was doing.
Right.
Because him as a solo career, I don't know why. I think he is truly one. Like Luke Combs has posted about him, Maren Morris has posted about him. Everyone's like, this is the guy. But there's a video on YouTube, and this was a true story. I had written with Charlie Worsham, and it was like maybe right before COVID or something like that. And then I'm sitting at home and I'm on YouTube and I'm just shithouse drunk. And I'm cruising through watching videos and I come across, it's like the Steamboat Music Songwriters Festival 20 whatever.
Yeah.
And in the background is Charlie Worsham in the foreground playing guitar and his eyes are closed. Maybe he was drinking. I don't know. It's Zane Williams and he plays a song called While I Was Away that talks about him being a dad, 2 kids as a traveling musician. And it's heartbreaking. And I record it on my phone and I send it to Charlie and I go, dude, what was it like sitting in front of Magic? And he's just like, yeah, that was pretty cool. And I'm like, it's one of the best. If I could tell anybody to go watch a video to like reinstate your like love for songwriting, it's that one.
I'll go check it out.
Zane Williams to me, like the man does no wrong. Like Dixie Darling, While I Was Away, he has a song called Jayton and Gill, song called Texas Like That, which I think should be like their state song because I think it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like this bubble that they all lived in, and I like to see that it's kind of popped open. Thanks to Cody Johnson, thanks to Wetzel, thanks to Parker McCollum, all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, kind of tell us about your transition from New Jersey to Nashville. Was that easy?
Yeah, it was so easy.
Yeah.
Well, so in my early 20s, I had done an artist career in my early 20s, and I stopped when I moved here. I just wanted to be a writer, and because I had tried, I put myself in a bunch of debt. And I didn't know what I was doing. I lived close to New York. I was traveling to LA a lot. I was coming here to write. And I just didn't know how to fit the pieces together. I guess I was just young, or I didn't know what having a team meant.
Just figuring it out.
So I moved here. I was signed to a pub deal out of New York. Met my buddy Matthew Odmark, who's, I don't know if you remember, do you know the band Jars of Clay? They were an older Christian band from like the 90s, early 2000s, but super... very influential in the Christian music community. And I didn't listen to him, but I met him and he and I became very close friends. And realizing how many people were influenced by them, so I came in, met him when I first moved to town. And, or like right before I moved to town, him and a buddy of mine, Cliff Goldmacher, were like, hey, you should move here. And they were like, it just fits you. And I knew I wasn't moving to LA. I had been there enough and spent enough time sleeping on couches and folded up pieces of foam in corners of rooms that I was like, and I loved my time going there. It really was fun because a lot of those people started coming here. But I just knew that I would kind of lose myself. So I wound up moving here and the transition was easy. It was like, so I grew up in a very suburban part of New Jersey, but my folks had this cabin in this place called Newfoundland, Pennsylvania. Northeast Pennsylvania, that town's 1,200 people. My hometown was 40,000. And then I would go weekly to a town of 1,200. Yeah. So it's like your stark difference.
Yeah, big difference.
Big to very, very small.
Nashville. That's a great example.
It's like, this Nashville to me when I moved here was like, it was kind of like going backwards because I remember like as a kid, I could see the World Trade Center from the back of my parents' house. It was off in the distance, but I could see it. And then moving here, I was like, oh, this is more like big fish, small pond. But then you realize how big Nashville is and why it's here. And then as big as it's gotten in 10 years. So, the transition wasn't hard because I was coming from a place that was so densely populated to a place that was like pretty desolate. And now I live so far out of town because I don't want to be near anyone that I'm like, give me my space and like my very few select neighbors that I talk to.
I get that.
Yeah. It's like, I enjoy coming into town. I love all my friends here, but I think they've gotten to the point where they stop calling because they know I'm not coming out. They're like, oh, Matt's not coming out. And I'm like, you're probably right.
So what was it like, putting out those first few songs in town, like working with people that you were like, oh, dang, like, I'm in Nashville, I'm doing this thing.
Yeah. Well, when I first moved to town, I was playing guitar for a friend, Bree Kennedy, for a long time. we did a duo record together, and that was kind of my introduction into like putting music out in town.
Right.
And then during 2019 and 2020, like through COVID, me and Matt Odmark like compiled a record called Wildhorse together. It was like over 2 years. We just did it for fun. And putting that out was awesome because it was the first time somebody had called and said like, hey, you know, we're a label, we want to help put it out. Mm-hmm. And then all this stuff kind of like started streaming in at the same time. And it was a little bit of a whirlwind where I was like, where did all this show up from? Mm-hmm. So it was cool. And it was a fun time to like see people react to the stuff that I just really loved. Yeah. And that was the first time I was like, okay, maybe this is working and maybe I have the right people by my side to do it. And it's just, that's a really wild feeling to have. Right. You know?
No, it's great. You know, it's just like people that you know that are going to go to bat for you and just like work for you. You know, you can't ask for anything else. No, especially as an artist.
No, and I'm very grateful to people that worked on that record. And it was a label that I'm no longer with, but the people who were doing distribution, this company Empire, and they're amazing. And I've been working with them still, and they're great. Yeah. And just like a lot of fun people. When you start meeting people who champion for you, right? I think the biggest thing for me was like I don't like to bullshit people. Mm-hmm. I'm not like going out just shaking hands to like. I did that in LA a lot when I was younger and like went into these clubs and met people. Oh, you got to shake their hand because they're cool. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So when I start seeing people do it here, like I go, bullshit, stop doing that. Mm-hmm. Like that's not, you shouldn't be here to do that. Right, 100%. You know, it's kind of like, if you're good, just show people you're good. Yeah. You know, like that's what I always loved about Ward and Whiskey Jam. Yep. Like back in the day when Whiskey Jam was still at Winners.
And you've had to probably see some really cool people on the Whiskey Jam lineup.
It's been a wild. Yeah, and I played it way back in the day.
Played with some really good people.
I played back in the day. Probably didn't know half of who was there until I'm like, oh God, that was who was there that night.
It's funny how that works, right?
Man, and Ward is just what I love about him is he's the champion of everybody here. But he's like, I mean, it was always funny. It was like kind of a running joke. Like you'd see people go on a Whiskey Jam back then, and they'd have like business cards and hand it out. And I would always go like, no, I'm not going to go there to like network. I kind of just want to hear what's going on, or if I'm there playing. And but you realize like hindsight, going there and just being around it. Right. You know, there's that one picture of Luke Combs that Ward always posts where it's like Luke's in the front row watching somebody play, and then boom, all of a sudden he's selling out 55,000 people in MetLife. Yeah. And I was on the road with Colby Acuff doing a couple of shows, and he was opening up for Luke at MetLife in New Jersey. And I went because he was like, hey, come and watch the show. And Ward like came up behind me. He's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, I just finished a run with Colby. My parents live 20 minutes down the road. Yeah. So, and then me and, Ward and Colby hung out for the rest of the night. But like watching him watch Luke, that's what I like about this town. Right. Watching Ward watch Luke Combs in front of 55,000 people, when he remembers seeing him in front of a room of
that's a great
70
feeling.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not even on stage. He was just in the room. Right. Like what a feeling and a testament to like how good it is to promote the music that we have here.
Listen, I hope I wake up in 3 to 5 years and all the guests on this podcast,
oh, dude, it was so
are
fun.
Selling out stadiums.
It would be cool.
I mean, and that's my whole goal with this podcast too is bringing you true talent. I'm not gonna wash you out with everyone. I'm sorry, but not everyone's able to be on the show, I think
you brought out the nice stuff for me, so thank you. Yes, I appreciate it.
No problem, man. And I think it's very important, like we were talking about earlier, of like this younger generation wants true talent. They don't want false stuff being shoved down their throat.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like there's so much. I don't know, and maybe it's because I've been here long enough to be a little jaded, and I hate that I call myself that, but I think what I've discovered in the last year, because there's been a lot of changes for my career too, and stuff that I'm like, okay, this was a big bummer, or hey, this was a big learning curve. I think what I had to get back to was remembering like, what was the thing you liked putting out? Like, what was the music you loved? And that's what people respond to. And I think,
what would your younger self
say? Yeah, what would my 14-year-old, like, trust me, there's been times where like I had to say to myself like, hey, your 14-year-old self is pretty damn proud of you right now. Yeah, 100%. Because like you wouldn't have, like when you go back to your hometown, you sit in your hometown bar and you talk to the people who are like, hey man, we're asking, like they ask about what's going on. Oh, how's music going? Good. And you get the one guy who just comes up to you. He's like, hey man, just want to let you know we're pretty proud of you because we've all watched you grow up in this bar. I had this one bar called Butch Cole's Tavern in Rahway, New Jersey. I played every Thursday and every Sunday for no one for a lot of years. And I'll go back there now, and the people who watched me grow up play songs there are just like, man, we love. They're like, even when it gets hard, when it gets hard, I go there, I get drunk, and I talk to people, and it reminds me of like, oh, this was way harder. Yeah. Like whatever I'm dealing with now is easy shit. Like this was tough.
Yeah. No, and I think that's even cooler than like even like your friends here in Nashville don't even know like what those people saw.
Those people saw some really awkward years. They saw some really failed attempts at trying to be cool. What songs were like your go-to covers? Playing in those bars and stuff. Colder Weather was always a big one for me, just because at the time that was the biggest country song. But I was doing everything from like. I would play on Thursdays with like a 3-piece blues band. Yeah. So we'd do everything from like B.B. King to Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, Zach Brown and then I'd do like a little acoustic set. Sunday nights were just acoustic. Yeah. And it was everything from like James Taylor, Jackson Brown, and then kind of a bunch of country. I do Willie Nelson covers. I do more B.B. King covers. There was an old man there named Uncle Ben, and he would always ask for one specific B.B. King tune, and he'd like drunkenly by himself just get up and dance.
Love it.
And then he'd grab some young girl and like try to get him to dance with him. It was always fun because everybody knew him. But it was like, those were the years where it was like people saw a lot of failed attempts of me trying to be cool. But like you pretend like you're playing Madison Square Garden in a place that's like
you have to.
Yeah, I mean you have to think it's the greatest thing in the world because then you treat it like it's the greatest thing in the world.
Well, if you want to be successful, as an artist, it doesn't matter how big the room is. You give them the same show.
Yeah. Well, there was a thing. It's called the illusion of the first time. Mm-hmm. And it's like every time you get on stage, treat it like it's your first or your biggest show, no matter if it is 12 people, 5,000 people. And I think it's a really tough thing to do when you go from playing like, I was on the road with Whiskey Myers and we were playing these like hockey arenas, these like 5,000 to 7,000 cap arenas. And then you come back and you're playing at a hotel on a Sunday night for like 20 people. And you're like, how do you stay excited to do both of those? And it's tough, but then you treat it the same. And it's almost even more fun for the room of like 20 to 50 people because you get to talk to them.
Well, you get to talk to them, have a few drinks, and all of a sudden now you're just laughing. You're playing songs with your friends.
And it's like playing in my living room. Like when you're playing in a stadium, you're just kind of like, all right, I'm here to entertain. I have to be big and loud for the last person to hear me. But in this hotel, I get to play and I get to talk to this person in front of me and make a joke. And people get to see who you are. I always liked theaters, like smaller, like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 to 1,500 people because you could still talk to people and make them laugh and they hear your jokes. It's not like these big shows and big productions are amazing. Mm-hmm. But there's that weird like disconnect sometimes. And like even as a person who watches the show, I'm like, this is a show. Like watching Luke Combs, I'm like, this is a full show. That's amazing. But there's no like sit down, get to know the couple of people in the front row because there's no room for it.
Well, yeah, and it's so funny to say that. I'm out on the road a little bit with Connor McCutcheon this October, and it was very cool to see him to be able to like in these smaller rooms go up to his merch table after he got done.
Oh yeah,
and to sit there and shake fans, or fans' hands because you can't do that necessarily in stadiums.
No, and especially if you're headlining, like you're back on a bus and you're out,
right?
But like even for me with the Whiskey Myers tour, it was like I would run to the merch table, like run across the stadium, get to the merch table because I was the first of 3. And it was enough time for people to come out and they're like, "You're the guy who was just singing." I'm like, "That was me." Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's fun because getting to meet people, that's the whole point, right? Like you write songs. I did this interview about this record that I just did, and people were like, well, how did you feel about this record? It's like, I wrote the record for me, and I needed it for me, but then it's fun to give it to people.
Right.
And it's the same thing with a show. It's like you're up there performing because you love to do it. Mm-hmm. But then when you see people's reaction to it and it's so personal.
Right.
Like that's the thing that I was thinking about this today. Like that's the thing that AI will never take away from us is like somebody in a room with a guitar playing and you feeling something. It just will never be able to recreate it.
It's just robots aren't cool when they can do things. It's cooler when like us as humans can do things that robots can do. We can do that.
It's like I can totally do what the robot does.
Right.
At the same time, like they might be on better pitch than I, but whatever, you know. But that's like a robot's not going to sit on the couch and play guitar.
Right.
So it's like having that aspect of live shows, like AI will never replace a live show.
Yeah.
It'll just never happen. Unless they're like, hey, let's put holograms of Tupac singing country songs on a stage with a hologram. I don't know.
And I've heard this thing going around TikTok. They're calling robots clankers now.
Clankers.
Yeah, when they're walking around, or like you see like the Domino's thing driving down the street.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
That's a clanker.
Well, are there like, all right, so I don't live in a city. Are there like robots delivering Domino's now?
Bro, yeah, they have like little like 4-wheel boxes.
Can you order to here and it's a...
I don't know if they have them in this city specific. I think it's more like New York, LA.
Like New York and LA.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I watched that movie. It was Seth Rogen and Keanu Reeves. It was called and Aziz Ansari. It's like where Aziz and Seth Rogen like swap lives.
Right.
And there was a section in it where there was like a robot delivering something, and I was like, that's not real. But maybe I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a little more real than we think sometimes.
That's so depressing.
Yeah, no,
you know?
it's
whatever
great.
happened to the pizza guy? That's just a lost art, you know?
So tell us like your craziest gig, like where you like, damn, I'm doing something really cool. Like you just had to sit there and like just take a deep breath for a second.
So it was a Whiskey Myers gig, right? And I remember the feeling. And it wasn't because I've had a lot of really fun shows where like I've felt, and there might be two answers to this, but I'll give the first the big one. It was a Whiskey Myers show. I want to say we were in Casper, Wyoming, something like that, and I was having like anybody post COVID, like some severe bout of anxiety that day. Mm-hmm. I just like couldn't keep it together. I got a phone call from a friend talking about another friend who was really going through it. Called that friend who was kind of going off the rails, talked to him for a minute, and I'm sitting in this dressing room like away from everybody, like stretching, trying to meditate, and I'm like, man, I need to figure this shit out. So I fill a glass like this to the top of bourbon, and I just chug it. I get another one. I'm like, all right, time to play. And we get up on stage, and I just remember a lot of that tour was kind of like a blur because your first time playing arenas, which it was mine, it was kind of just like, all right, it's a run and gun. Like you're there, you do the job, and it's like, think about it later of how cool this is.
Right.
That night, I was just so disassociated from everything because I had friends who were just having a moment. And I got up on stage, and it was like a movie. I remember I was playing guitar, and I was still anxious. And at one point, like, I like not dropped or anything, but like I knelt down and was like playing this solo, and I like looked up at my microphone, and it was just like the lights were perfect. Everything slowed down. Everything got really quiet.
Yeah.
And I just went, fuck, I love doing this.
Yeah. This
is the coolest thing that I get to do. And then like it was like you see in a movie where everything goes like super fast motion.
Yeah.
And it goes, and I was like back in it, and I was like, fuck, I gotta play this set. You know? But it was that. It was a fun moment to go, man, you're playing in front of a couple of thousand people, biggest shows you've ever done. And a couple of years ago you were having to sit in your house with your dog. Right. And a couple of years before that you were working at the Apple store in Green Hills. Or just a
few minutes ago, you're helping out your friend, you know?
Yeah, a few minutes ago, I'm talking to a friend who I've known for the last 7 years or 8 years I've been in town, and just helping him go through a moment. And life just kind of hits you all in those weird spots.
Right.
And that was like, it just, everything stopped and got real quiet. The other show that I did that I really loved, I had gotten back from country to country in London, and I booked a hometown show in New Jersey. It was at this venue called White Eagle Hall in Jersey City, and I hadn't played in my home state, like a real show in probably, I don't know, 8 years, maybe more than that. And I kid you not, every person I've ever known showed up.
Yeah.
Like they came out of the woodwork. Like
That's
people who I maybe shook hands with once or saw me at the bar, to like my grandmother. You know, everyone in between, kids I went to high school with, elementary school with, all showed up. And I was sitting on stage, and I just remember telling them, I was like, man, the only thing I hope that you guys get from the show, or the thing I hope to get, is I want you guys to, or I was like, I want you guys to know that I'm not always doing this for me, but I love to go out and play music, and I'm proud of the little town that we're from.
Right.
And how proud I am to be from this. And somebody in the way back, I'm pretty sure it was my buddy's drunk uncle, was like, we're fucking proud of you too. And I just like start bawling on stage in front of all my friends and family. But that was a fun moment to realize, like, the years of traveling and the years of, again, like sleeping on foam, sleeping on a piece of foam in my old manager's apartment in LA, to
the mental battles.
To being totally broke and selling gear at Guitar Center daily to make your mortgage. It just all made sense.
Right, it clicks in that moment. You're like, that's why I do it. You know?
And it's like it's always been the one thing that like I'll wake up in the morning, think about, and I'll go to bed thinking about. So if I stress about it that often, I probably should be doing it, you know, because there was never anything else I liked doing. You know. So
tell us about this new project you just put out.
Oh, Cowboys in London. It came out Friday. This was...
What inspired the title behind this? And
so the title was a song title. Okay. I was in London. It was the first time I was there. Only time I've been there.
For the...
Country to Country. C2C Festival. And this, again, I think it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. And I was there, and I was on the... They have these boats. Have you ever been?
Nope. Never.
All right, so they have these boats. There's a Thames River that runs through the center. I'm talking like I'm cultured in some way. I'm not at all. But they have this river that runs through. It's a Thames River, and they have these Uber boats. So it's an Uber, but it's a boat.
That's fantastic. That's sick.
Fucking awesome. And there's a bar and a cafe on the boat.
They should have that on the Cumberland, bro.
Yeah, I said the same thing, man. I was like, but do you know how shitty it would be if people like got on the Cumberland River and just started getting more drunk on the river?
Yeah.
It would get real shitty real fast. But what was nice is they had all these docks, right? And it was like $3 to get on, and it'll take you to whatever stop you want. So I was staying with an artist who, I love this dude, Angel White. He's another Texas guy. And we were rooming together, me, him, his manager, and his photographer. And we were staying somewhere by the Shakespeare Globe, and we had to go to the O2 Arena. And I remember getting on the Uber boat to go play. And it was the day I saw Jake Worthington. And I'm sitting on the boat with my guitar, a cowboy hat on, you know, whatever. It's you dressed for, you know, your job. And I'm just watching all these people get on in like full Yellowstone garb. And they're all English. And they're all European. And I'm like, this is the strangest thing I've ever seen. So like between that and then between walking around London, I started having this thought, right? So nobody in my family, in my immediate family, or actually in my family ever, has ever left the state of New Jersey. I'm the only one that's ever moved out. And I'm the only person who ever went to London other than my grandfather and his brother, my Uncle Frank. So when they both died, I have a set of my grandfather's dog tags and a set of my Uncle Frank's. My dad has the other half. And I realized going there that the last time, and I've worn them since I was like 15. The last time those dog tags were there was when my Uncle Frank was in London training to go fight in France, and my grandfather was in Asia. So that was the last time anybody in my family has ever been there. So I had this thought of, like, they think of us as like cowboys and Indians. And I wrote it in my phone. I remember I was like, Cowboys in London. I was like, I'm going to write that one day. And I just like left it as a title. And I get a random message from my old manager. And he's like, hey, this girl reached out. She's an artist that writes in London named Ralph Pellymounter. True English name, if I've ever heard one. I mean, it was wild. And we get on Zoom, and he's super great. And we we start talking, and he's like, how'd you like London? And I was like, man, it was great. It was cool to kind of see everybody in costume going to this country show. And he's like, well, what do you want to write? And I was like, I have this title called Cowboys in London. I told him the story about the dog tags and all that. And he's like, what's funny is my grandfather's from northern England, and he fought in the war too, and he hadn't seen London ever. He's this old beer drinking guy from North London or North England, and he goes and fights in France where all they drink is wine. So he was getting real drunk off wine and trying to fight a war. So we were talking about that. So we wrote this song basically as like, you know, our grandfathers getting this very introspective bullshit.
Sweet.
Yeah, but it's like the idea that they got a piece of paper in the mail that said, hey, you're going to travel halfway around the world to go fight this war because you need to.
Yeah.
And like without thought, they were like, cool, we'll go. And we wrote about that, like what it felt like to be these cowboys who showed up in the middle of a place that like looked at them as like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And they're like, man, we're here to help. So we wrote that song, and then the record happened last December. I was home. I was at the cabin in Pennsylvania. I had an aunt who had passed, and we buried her on a Monday. I got some bad news about my career on Tuesday, which was just really poor shit timing. And then the next day, I was just so infuriated about everything that I took out my computer, my microphone. I took a very large bottle of bourbon. I just started pouring it, and I just recorded 8 songs in that cabin, and it was done.
Yeah.
And then I brought it home, and I added some stuff to it.
Right.
But like, I've done production since I was a kid, and I was like, I just want to record a record of songs that I really love. So it's like, there's great songwriters on this record. There's like, there's Aaron Ratier who did Look Like You Love Me. He did that. There's Jeremy Busey and Josh London, who those guys write for like Tim McGraw and all that. My friend Zarni, who she is an incredible writer, and I wrote the song called See You in the Valley with her. And it was just all these songs that I kind of had, and the label that I was on at the time, or who I was on, because that news was getting pulled from this label, was they just didn't want me to record them. And I was like, I don't know why. I love these songs and they mean something. But I think it was, again, it's like when you're looking at labels, and this is nothing against them. I understand it's a business, but it's like they're looking at like, hey, we need to have something go viral. Yeah. We need money coming in. But then like I was always of the mindset of like, it's slow to rise, slow to fall. Like you got to build something and it's going to take time. So being the stubborn asshole that I am, I was like, I'm sticking it to the man. I'm making my own record. Yeah. But it was like doing that. I'd had some really great advice to just starting putting music back out. And through this whole year, I've released new songs like every 4 to 6 weeks since March. Yeah. And then my plan was, and I know we were talking about it on the way up, but my plan was when we were recording my last record, Last of the Old Dogs, I had a folder of like 350 songs. Yep. And we whittled it down to 13. So there's plenty of music. Right. I'm not short on that front. It's just like, which ones mean the most right whatever. Now? Yeah. And then my head went like, I'm just going to keep putting music out and be persistent with the team of people who I still have and who I still love. Right. But I'm just not going to, like, there's not going to be a stoppage of it. I'm just like, all of it's there. I don't want to get to the point. And actually, there's a writer named Jason Nix. He wrote, Things a Man Ought to Know with Laney. Yep. He had posted on Instagram. And I love him for this post, and I reached out to him about it because he was saying the same thing. He's like, there's so much music that I have that the world will never hear. Right. So I'm just going to start releasing all of it. And I was like, man, that's such a good perspective to do because it'll all just sit on a hard drive. Well,
yeah, I've always preached this ever since before I moved to Nashville. It never made sense to me, even as like a fan, trying to start working in country music, of why are we keeping it in the notebook? Why are we keeping it in the hard drive? Especially when A, it can just move so many random people, but B, also, like, it's not necessarily about this, but if it makes you pennies, it makes you pennies. It's better than the notebook lines,
Well, that's the thing is like, I'd rather 100 songs make me a few pennies because that's a good amount of money. Right. Rather than like one song that might make me $100. Right. Which is like, cool, great. Oh, it made me some good money. But a bunch of songs will make you good money throughout the rest of time.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that when he posted that thing about releasing music, it made me just go, okay, cool. I have to go through this folder of stuff and just kind of like just pick what I love.
Right.
And then even at that, I mean, still writing 2-3 times a week.
Yep.
And having new songs. So as I started releasing this for the last month and a half, Matt Odmark, my producer, and I we have this little band that we've gotten together, and we meet on Tuesday nights.
That's great.
It's like an old man's card game, but we all get in there. We listen to one song at a time, and we track one song a night. And then we meet in a week, and we do it again. So we've got, I think, another 5 done. One of them is a cut of Buddy's song, which I loved doing because I've known this guy for a long time. And then beyond that, then on my birthday last year, I got drunk at his studio and just sang acoustic for like 3 hours with these beautiful microphones.
Yep.
And it's another 5 songs. So that'll be a deluxe version of this record out in February. So it's like, for me, it's like, I never wanted there to be a shortage of new things that people can hear. Because that was the thing I hated, was waiting around for 9 months and being like, hey, we have all this stuff, we can release it.
With people's attention spans now.
It's miserable.
They need something every week.
Yeah.
Or every other week, every 2 weeks,
Well, when I was a kid, too, being in like a punk band when I was little, we were putting out a song on a Monday and playing a show on a Friday. And then that following Monday, we put out a new song. Yeah. And we'd record it in somebody's garage. Yeah. We didn't know what we were doing. But like, it was that like immediate, put out the song, everybody in our high school would listen to it, or in the surrounding area, we'd go play a show, and then boom. And that's how all the bands functioned. And I started thinking about that. I was like, man, just put out music, because you know what? It doesn't matter if you put out, I don't know, 60, or not 60 songs, but you can put out, 12 songs this year, or you could do 8 songs in a record of 9 songs. Like, you'll just have this catalog to go to a show and be like, hey, somebody's going to have a song that they love from those 12 from the year. Right. Play that song.
Yeah, and I think it's cool too, especially with some of these artists, mixing up their genres and, like that they're showing their personality. Like Hardy's a great example of he has so many country songs, he has so many rock songs, but at the end of the day, his fan base isn't necessarily a fan of both, and maybe and there's a lot of people that are, but like he's creating something that's for everyone. That when they show up to his shows, he knows that country fans are gonna like, rock fans are gonna like, but if you're in the middle, you're gonna like it as well.
Yeah, when my first introduction to him was Rednecker, and I was like, that is the coolest song I've ever heard. But like watching him kind of deep dive back into the things that he loved and going to the more like not heavy metal, but like just heavier rock stuff and mixing it in with what he does. I'm like, that for me is fun, because I'm like, you're getting to see the person who he is. Right. It's like Steven Wilson Jr. It's like
big Steven Wilson.
Yeah, Jr. I mean, it's just like all these artists that you're like, it's not kind of stuck to a certain sound the entire show. Right. And or like the people that you love going to see, you're seeing who they were when they were 14. Yes. That's what I love. Yes, like absolutely. I want to see what made you love music up front. And it's like, when you get a show that I'm like, this is cool and it's production, I love that. But like, I want to, and my bar is always John Mayer, because John Mayer always showed you who he was when he was 14 years old. Absolutely. It's like, you'd go watch a show and you'd see this dude and he'd be playing, he'd be looking cool and whatever, and playing cool solos, and then he'd get and play this Stevie Ray Vaughan cover. And that was him as a 14-year-old kid in his bedroom. And I'm like, well, that's cool, because now there's this connection, and that is where, again, we're just shitting on AI, but it's true. That's where AI is going to lose. It's like, if you don't have the connection from, like, somebody listens to a song that I put out and they go, man, that was me 6 months ago. Yeah. AI is not going to know that. Or like somebody said on an interview, AI doesn't have perspective. And I was like, that's it. That's
so true.
That's it. Like, they have everything, but AI does not have perspective. Yeah. And it can't it could like study everybody's perspective and collectively make its own. Yeah. But that's always changing based on environment, based on what's going on. So like, I don't know. I love the story of Tyler Childers, because he's another one. He's just fucking bad to the bone, dude. And I even loved his new record. Like, I know it got shit up front, but I'm like, if you guys like listen to it, it's pretty freaking awesome. Yep. And what I love about his story is like he moved to town, right? Was like doing the bit around Nashville, and then was like, man, I'm not writing songs about where I'm from anymore. I need to go back to where I'm from, because then I'm writing about things that I know. And that resonated with me, because I was like, man, why do I feel like most people are trying to write songs just to get heard?
Right.
Like, they're like, well, people are going to like this.
What's going to work on TikTok? What's going to work, what's going to make people, drink beer,
The phrase when I first started writing in town for a publisher was, I'd be in a room and somebody would go, what's relatable? And I'd be like, anything that happens to you today. Yeah. And they're like, no, I want it to be relatable to everybody. And I looked at them and I'd be like, if you think you're the only one in the world who that has happened to, you're so wrong. Right. I'm like, it's just write about your experience with that. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes music great. And you will have fans who resonate with your version of it. Yep. Like, you could say it, Slow Dancing to Burn the Room. First time I ever heard it, I just went, oh my God. Yeah. I'm dead. Yeah. Truly dead. Because it explains something in my life, not exactly the same, but it explains something in my life that I was like, that's me right now. How did you figure it out, John? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, there was always just something relatable. James Taylor was one of those for me. Like, he had songs like not Country Roads, Copperline, like all these old songs my dad used to listen to, and they didn't make sense till I was older. Right. And listening to them, I'm like, oh, that was him in that moment, and now that's me.
That's one of the coolest things about music, I think, is like you can listen to a song when you're younger, and then you think you know what it means, or you think you just like the song from the season, but all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, oh shit, that's what that song
It's like means, watching Wayne's World for like the 10th time, and you finally get the one sexual innuendo that was like, you had no idea what it was when you were a child, and you go, why did I watch this as a kid? Yeah. No. But it's the same thing. There's always something new to discover. And that's the best part about it, is it's like, I'm always surprised with old songs that I've written. And I know other people have spoken about this before, but like, I'll have a song that I've written 10 years ago and it didn't make sense till 10 years later. Yep. Which I think is the most wild thing about songwriting. That's cool. It's like, this wasn't meant for me then, but man, I really needed this today. Yeah. And then I get to go play it at night and see people react to it because I'm dealing with it at the same time. Right. Which is fucking insane to me. Yeah. But that's the stuff that keeps you excited. Yep. And that's what, like, for me, I always preach about this thing called the pre-write bullshit. I told somebody this the other day in a write. I was like, I don't want to start writing if we haven't talked for at least an hour. Mm-hmm. And they were like, why? And I'm like, because we're not doing we're not talking about anything great. Meaningful. We're just trying to find a title and write something cool. Or, like, let's talk about life. I want to know what's going on. Right. Because if you've got something big in your life and you're like, hey, I've been needing to talk about this, but every write I've been in is like, let's just write a banger that's cool for TikTok. But I want you to cry at the end of our session because I want you to be so devastated that we wrote the thing that you've been meaning to say. And that's what I love doing. Mm-hmm. Like, for me, the point of writing a great song is to have people devastated by the time you finish.
I love that.
Like, some people call them bluebird songs. Like, that was an old phrase. But I have this song called Last of the Old Dogs, and I always preface it by saying, I'm going to sing a song for you right now. It's about dogs. You're either going to really love me or you're really going to fucking hate me at the end of this. But it is. It's about dogs and dying dogs. But it's about them being your best friends. And, it's just like, that's the kind of stuff that when you get to see a crowd react to it, that's the shit that keeps me, like, excited every morning. Right. I'm like, man, I love playing that song at a show because I tell the story, then people get invested, then they hear the song, and then they come up to me after and they're like, we just had to put our dog down last week. And that just saved me today. And I was like, that's why we're here, man. It's the coolest thing.
Well, talk about songs and music. I think we should get into.
I know I could talk for a while.
No, dude. It's so good.
I could talk for a bit.
I'm not complaining, man.
I could talk for a minute.
This has been great, but I mean, you brought your guitar, so I did. I feel like we need to hear some of this.
Probably. Yeah. I'm gonna grab some water. And sing a song. So
yeah, let's do it up.
Hell yeah. I did have some lady. I went to the New Dozen yesterday. Have you guys been to that one?
No.
The new one. Have you ever been to Dozen before? Mm-hmm. Oh man, best like it's a bakery, but they do food.
Okay.
They have a new building over in like the Woodbine area, like off of Nolansville, where there was a Mexican restaurant over there that Obama went to, and it was fucking awesome. But right behind it now is this place Dozen, and there was this old lady in there, and she comes up next to me and she like taps me on the shoulder, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I just look for somebody who's under 40 to help me with my phone because I don't know what I'm doing." And I'm like, "Thanks, but also what the fuck?" Yeah. And she like needed to figure out how to hold the buttons on the side of her phone to turn the phone off.
Yeah.
I was like, that's how I know you're old, because you want to turn your phone off.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it was so funny, dude. Shit. And then they wound up giving me free lunch because I helped her, which I was like, that was sick.
That's great.
I didn't expect that, to be honest with you. And then I told my buddy, my producer, he was like, well, fuck, I would have went there and helped her out with her phone if I would have got free lunch, too. I was like, I know. It was a nice little treat.
That's great. So today is Veterans Day.
Yeah.
And I think this first one you're going to play for us, you kind of gave us a little bit of backstory behind it. You know, your grandfather and your uncle, right, were in the military, and they were over in London, and that's kind of how you came up with the idea, because you were over in London as well. Yeah,
it was a really cool thing to realize that I'm the first one since them. Like, I was there with my guitar, and I realized they had to be here, and I got to be there, which was a cool feeling. So this song was written with a guy named Ralph Pellemouner, and don't bug me for looking at lyrics because I need to some days. But
it's newly out.
Right? It's newly out. I haven't played this out before, so this will be the first time I've like played it for anybody, which will be fun.
Love it.
But yeah, this was a song that when we wrote it, we both just kind of like looked at each other and felt really accomplished that we kind of honored some kind of tradition. Like all the stuff I posted on Instagram has all been like the album art is my grandfather. It was him in his uniform. Yeah. There's a picture of my mother's father in his uniform I posted today for Veterans Day. For me, family's just huge, and it always has been. And when I start thinking about writing things that my family's so important to me, it's like most of my songs comes from either shitty relationships, because I don't think I have many good relationship songs. I don't think anybody does. And it comes from shitty relationship songs or family songs, and it's all stuff that's important. So this one was one, we loved, and I'm gonna try not to fuck it up. Let me see if I got any words here.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, here we go. I may have you scroll.
Yeah, I can hold it. Yeah, whatever.
No. Oh, I got it now. I got all the words here. So. Did I tell him that I love him when I said I'd be okay? It was just a piece of paper that took me miles and miles away. And I don't want to be alive, I don't want to be afraid. When that spark becomes a fire, I'll take that horse and ride away. So on your feet, this time will be the death of me, and I can't sleep with photos of my memories. Tomorrow we leave, riding on a destiny. We were cowboys on the streets of London. We were cowboys on the streets of London. No more beer and no more whiskey, blood red wine across the sea. So tell me stories round a fire and come and have a drink with me. Still got my pistol on my side, These boots don't look the same. Not dreaming of tomorrow, just coming home again. So on your feet, this time will be the death of me, and I can't sleep with photos of my memories. Tomorrow we leave, riding on to destiny with cowboys on the streets of London. Just cowboys on the streets of London. If we make it back alive, if we get to walk away, we will have some tales to tell. They believe the things we say, that we were cowboys on the streets of London. Just cowboys on the streets of London.
Let's go.
Thanks, dude.
What a song. That's tight, man.
I know. I'll put my words away now. Act like a professional.
Oh, man, that's a great song. And obviously, go stream that on all platforms.
Yeah,
right?
that one's out. The whole record's out, which is wild to think. This was just a record that, like, this was the little baby that I was really proud of. Like, everything else has been, like, fun and produced, but I was like, this is one that was, like, me in a house. I really didn't care if people didn't like it. That sounds shitty of me to say.
Right.
But it was like, I didn't care if people loved it. I just wanted to sing it. So that's kind of where all this came from. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, that's cool. I think on your Instagram, I saw there's a clip of Theo Von.
Yeah.
He has one of your songs or something. He's playing on his podcast.
Yeah. He it was funny. That story, that's an older song. I wrote with my friend Maggie Rose and this guy Oxley, and we wrote it for basically film and television. Like, that was at the time where I wasn't trying to be an artist, and I was just writing songs to write songs. But inherently, everybody would want me to sing in these sessions. And Maggie, if you've ever heard Maggie Rose sing, it's like listening to the gods sing. You know, she's one of the best singers in town and ever. And she's a dear friend, but we did a version where she sang the song and then I sang the song, and we got it put in a Walgreens commercial during COVID. It didn't have anybody singing in it, but the music was in it, which was cool. But then they were like, hey, if the song's going to be on TV, you know, you should put it out. So I put it out because she had a record coming out, and I was traveling and I was getting out of a shower, and my buddy called me, and I hadn't heard from this friend in a while, and I answer the phone. I'm like, hey, man, what's up? He goes, hey, dude, I got a question. Do you mind if Theo Von uses your song on a podcast? And I'm like, Theo Von? And I, for the life of me, couldn't think of what it was. I was just getting out of the shower. And I was like, yeah, man, I don't care. It's fine. The next day, a friend of mine calls me and says, hey, man, the Rat King, you're famous. You're on his podcast. And I was like, what? So I finally find it. And if you get the chance, go watch the full episode, because the thing he said, like, he can't pronounce my last name. It is hilarious. But he says, like, it's just like dumb shit the way he introduces it. I won't get into it, but it was fun. Like, that was a thing where, like, people heard the songs, and that was just something I wrote for film and TV. Like, I never expected to put it out. Right. So that was, Theo Von, he just, like, continuously used that song, but would, like, put his sunglasses on and just dance to it. That's great. I don't know. That was a wild one. But some of that stuff, like early stuff that I had released, like in 2020, like of that time period of my life, was just all for film and TV. Yeah. Which I never thought that, like, people would want to hear more of it. Right. And then I'll go to shows and play songs that I'm like, oh, these are my records. And they're like, play that song from the Walgreens commercial. I'm like, no, I'm not going to play the Walgreens commercial, man. But
what's the second one you got for us?
I'll do a song. I'll do another song from this record, Cowboys in London. This was the first single. I put out a dual single probably like 6 weeks ago. A song called Mess We Made and a song called So Long. And Mess We Made was really the single. It just kind of talks about having a relationship with somebody, and it gets really messy when people aren't honest, and sometimes you don't get the chance to like say everything that you want to, and they don't get the chance to say everything they want to, and it was just like ships in the night, I guess. But sometimes that gets really messy, and that's this was one of those. I was just sitting on my couch one night, and I was really drunk. Pretty much. That's kind of where everything goes.
Yes, sir.
I'm just sitting there drinking. I'm just on my couch, and I think that Netflix had finally stopped asking me if I was going to keep watching. And I was just playing guitar, and this song kind of came out. But, yeah, I think it found me more than I needed to find it. So it's a song called Mess We Made. So. Yeah. I was waiting on a long day coming. You were never running out of time. We were making love out of nothing but a song and a glass of wine. You used to say this felt like thunder, and I would chase that storm all night. But that rain used to make me wonder if we were gonna see the light. 'Cause we were caught in a wildfire. We were towing a silver line. We were dancing alone and burning it down, leaving everything behind. Just look at the mess we made, and we're still holding on. Now you don't even know my face, and I don't even know you're gone. Just look at the mess we made. We never got to show them nothing. We never could find a way not to leave our two hearts broken, so I had to walk away. 'Cause we were caught in a wildfire. We were towing a silver line. We were dancing alone and burning it down, leaving everything behind. Just look at the mess we made. We're still holding on. Now you don't even know my face, and I don't even know you're gone. Just look at the mess we made. 'Cause we were caught in a wildfire. We were towing a silver line. We were dancing alone and burning it down, leaving everything behind. Just look at the mess we made, and we're still holding on. Now you don't even know my face, and I don't even know you're gone. Just look at the mess we made. Just look at the mess we made.
Brother.
Thanks, dude. Thanks. I feel bad for your neighbors.
Hey, man, it's okay. And I feel like that song's relatable, man.
Yeah, thanks. It's, again, none of them come from, like, happy relationship songs.
No.
Those aren't fun.
But
some of them are fun.
Yeah.
But, like, that one's...
It's part of life.
Yeah, I think it's one of those I've just been getting fed through the algorithm all these, like, really, like, basic relationship quotes. Mm-hmm. It's like stuff you'd see in Home Goods.
Right.
And some of them are, like, awfully accurate. Or it's like, I saw one today, it was like, now is the time of letting things go. And I'm like, shut up. But also, fuck. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. It's just, that's just one of those songs for me that when I finished it, I kind of like closed my phone. I recorded the demo of it, and I just sat on my couch for a minute and just realized what I said.
Right.
Because I think it's that for me is sometimes the fun part about writing a song alone is sometimes you need it more than it needs you.
Right.
And that one definitely was one of those for me. So.
Right. And it's also like, too, I think what's cool about that song specifically is like simpler things can say a lot sometimes.
Yeah, I've tried going on this boat of one of the... Nashville for me has always been like the master class of songwriting. You know, you can go anywhere in the world, and when you think about songwriters, you think about here. And I truly study Chris Stapleton's lyrics because he doesn't say anything that's hard. Everything is so simple. Like the way he says it. Think I'm in love with you. It's just like, well, okay, yeah. I mean, anybody could have said
everyday vocabulary.
Everyday vocabulary, but it makes total sense. And like, that's what I really love about being a musician and being a writer is when you get to study people and you go like, what made that so great? Mm-hmm. And for me, with him, his lyrics aren't hard. Like, there's no crazy metaphors. There's nothing that I have to think too hard about. Like, it's not... Like me with my New Jersey public education can totally understand what you said, you know? And that's with that song. And I've really been trying to, in the last couple of years, like think less about how interesting and cool can I make this? And like, just does it say the right thing? And sometimes I'll be in a room and we're like, did we just say it? And I'm like, it doesn't need to be hard.
Right.
Sometimes it just needs to say what feels right. And I think that one for me, yeah, I felt like I'd had enough conversations with myself saying, like, look at this mess that we made. Mm-hmm. And there's no way to clean it up. Yeah. So that's where that one came from.
That's sweet, man. So what's this next one you got for us?
I don't know. I was trying to think of what song to play while singing that last one. I'll do...
What's one of, your most...
one of my favorite songs to play? Yeah, I got it. I already know what I'm going to do. It's another sad one. This one sucks. It's a good one, though. I like this one. I think I like it. I like it because of the story.
Right. We always like a good sad song. I mean, especially in country music, blues, even rock. It's sad, at the end of the day.
Well, this one's sad. Yeah. I was telling the story at the Bluebird the other night because I was doing a really fun round, and I always like playing the song there because you get the time to talk about it. I was writing with a guy, Tristan Bushman. He's in a band called Very Gently, and he's a great songwriter and just great artist in general. And a guy named John Stanislawski, who I think now is back in Wisconsin selling real estate, but an amazing songwriter. Yeah. And I think he still plays music. But we were writing together one morning. I came in super hungover. This was like early. I was probably like 2019. And Tristan came in hungover. John did not. Made fun of us both for being hungover. And they were like, well, what's been going on? And I was like, man, I've been thinking about this story from when I was in high school about this guy named Harry Truman. Yeah. Not the president. This guy from Mount St. Helen. He was just this old dude that there was a volcano at Mount St. Helens that erupted, and he was in the town, and everybody told him to leave. And they're like, hey, man, you got to get out of the town because this thing's going to kill you. Yeah. And he was like, no, my wife died in this house, and my kids grew up in this house, and I'm going to stay here and go down with the ship. Mm-hmm. And I always thought it was a really sweet sentiment, so I brought it up to them, and they're like, well, why is that important? I was like, well, the relationship that had just ended, maybe the year before, I was with this girl for 7 years. And, not girl, she was a woman, but you know what I mean. Just trying not to get yelled at, I guess. I don't know.
It's okay. But, it's okay. You can let it out.
No, she was a good person, but we grew so far apart because we dated earlier in our 20s and then into our late 20s, and we just eventually just went different ways. And
grow apart. That's it.
And it didn't end well, but I had people like the last probably 3 years of that relationship being like, hey man, you're not happy and you need to get out. And I couldn't come to terms with it. Mm-hmm. And I stayed in it because I was comfortable. Yes. And I couldn't figure out why comfortability was like such a drug for me. Mm-hmm. And I think anybody, like when you're in a relationship for that long and you want to get out, but like comfort feels better than being alone for a lot of people. Yeah. And I've been single for a lot of years with the intent of like, I had to refigure out how like comfortable being alone was.
Right.
And yeah, with this song, like I brought up Harry Truman because I was like, it's kind of the same thing where people told me to leave and I just wouldn't. And finally when the volcano erupted, it was like, it all just burned to the ground. But I knew it was happening before it was happening.
Right.
And that's what this song's called The Fire. And it's probably one of my favorite songs to play. It's one I get asked to play the most. Mm-hmm. Just from either random people or friends. And they like this song. For me, it's the story. It's just, I'll never forget the feeling of sitting in my old apartment after she left, holding a letter that she wrote me, looking at the door, realizing she was gone. And I cried, not for her, but for the dog. Because she took the fucking dog.
She took the goddamn dog.
It was her dog. So I can't complain.
Yeah.
But like, I just remember feeling like the dog's not going to come around the corner. I'm not going to be able to hug this dog. Man, my life has changed. So this song, this is one that like it hits all the senses of like where I was in that moment. But yeah, it's called Fire. We wrote it hungover. It was fun. Yeah. Well, sky's on fire, embers flying, ash covers the road. Well, live or die, you'll find me running up this hill alone. They tell me I should leave this burning house. She's not the safest place to stay, but I still call her home. We covered up the cracks with perfect pictures on the wall. Well, it seems as though we're doing fine while flames come down the hall. But the roof is caving in as the frame begins to fall. And soon enough the blaze will take it all. Well, I can blame it on my stubborn pride, let them claim I'm crazy and question why the hell I'm even trying. Our love was like a hurricane. I held her hand, she cursed my name. They say love can make you blind, but this house burned down long before the fire. Well, you can't win a fight when you're swinging underwater. And it's hard to be a lover to a girl who hates her father. The promises you tried to keep around are like water under broken bridges now. I can blame it on my stubborn pride, let them claim I'm crazy and question why the hell I'm even trying. Our love was like a hurricane. I held her hand, she cursed my name. They say love can make you blind, but this house burned down long before the fire. I can blame it on my stubborn pride, let them claim I'm crazy and question why the hell I'm even trying. But our love was like a hurricane. I held her hand, she cursed my name. They say love can make you blind. They say love can make you blind, but this house burned down long before the fire.
Bro, it's so true that like you do write music that moves you. Like all three of these songs, bro. Like,
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
And I love that about music. You know, it's supposed to move you.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. That's probably my favorite one. Favorite one to sing, because I think like it's one that like every time heals me a little bit,
right?
And I watch it fix people in real time, which is such a fun thing. And like to hear people audibly feel that, and then for me, it chips away a little bit every time at that like massive hole that's still there, and it makes me remember why that hurts so much. But like I could probably write 30 songs about that relationship or more, but that one probably will always be the one that like explains it the best. Mm-hmm. You know, so
absolutely,
yeah.
Was that 3 or 4?
That was 3.
So we got one more.
Yeah, I'll do one that's not out, but there will be.
Oh, I'm excited.
And this is a fun
Let's
one.
do it.
This is not a sad song, I promise.
Let's go.
It's way more fun.
Is this a honky-tonkin' one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to write a truck driving song. I just drive a lot. So I hate to fly. I've flown a bunch in my life.
Right.
And I fucking hate it. And I don't... It's kind of part like the anxiety of flying.
Right.
But it's also like the being in the airport sucks.
Yes.
You know, like that's the part that I hate.
Well, the security, going through all that.
Well, and so I drive a ton, and I just had to get new tires on my truck like a couple of weeks ago. And the guy looked at me, and he was like, I was like, hey, can you tell me how many miles I had on my truck when I got my tires last time? And he goes, yeah, you had 100,000 miles on your truck. And I was like, cool. He's like, what are you at now? I said, 160. And he goes, you were here in January of 2024. And you put 60,000 miles on your truck since then? I said, yep. And he goes, why? I said, I just like to drive, you know? But I did a tour. I did a run with Wheeler Walker Jr., which was the most amazing tour of my life. It was so fun. It was. I got called last minute because...
When was this?
Last summer. Okay. So it was last July.
Okay, yeah.
The first show was July 4th in... Libby, Montana. So like upper northwest place called Happy's in Montana. Middle of fucking nowhere. Like cell service gone, satellite service gone, but you're in the middle of what is truly God's creation. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there in front of this massive, like obnoxiously large American flag in front of these people in Montana, and then Wheeler Walker Jr. is playing next, which why I was asked to do this, I still will never know. But apparently there was a guy on the tour, had to leave. They were looking for somebody to fill in a month, and I couldn't do it because I had shows with Colby Acuff in August. But I said I could do these shows in between. Right. And the first show was Libby, Montana, so I had to drive. Because if I flew, I would have lost a bunch of money. And I hate that it comes down to that for artists. Like, our touring schedule comes down to, will I make any money? But it's about the
sightseeing, too, and the stopping at Buc-ee's and doing that whole thing.
You're seeing, I did more fly fishing across Montana and Wyoming that trip than I've ever done. Right. And, so I got the call to do it, and I was like, okay, it's Wheeler Walker Jr. I know his music. I secretly love it. What I loved about it was when I announced it, the amount of friends who I never thought would like him. Bro. They came out of the woodwork. The
amount of massive artists that have code names that write for him.
I know.
You would be surprised.
Well, Dave Cobb produces records. I'm like, this is the dude that does like Stapleton and Brandy Carlisle. And by the way, Drop 'Em Out, produced by Dave Cobb. I'm like, that is the funniest.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's so great is him and his team and his band were amazing. They were so good. But they called and they were like, here's what it would be. Here's how much you'll make. Can you make it? I said, I'd love to do it. So I crunched the numbers with my manager, and I was like, I'm going to lose a good amount of money doing this if we fly. And he goes, yeah. I was like, but if I drive? And he goes, you're nuts. And I was like, it's 10,000 miles in the month of July. It was all by myself, driving from Nashville to Montana in 4 days.
Hopefully your AC was working.
Oh, everything. It was a beautiful part of so it was Nashville, Montana. Then it was a 2-day drive through the most beautiful national forest I've ever seen, but there was no, my maps wouldn't work, so I had to read It was like being on MapQuest when I was like a kid. Like I was like, oh God, how do I get out of here?
Right.
But it's like make left turn. There's one left turn in 100 miles, so I had to be the only one.
Right.
You know. So then we went to Edmonton in Alberta. We went to Calgary. Then I did a 2-day drive across Banff, which was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Damn.
I went to Lake Louise with a bunch of tourists. I just sat there. I FaceTimed everybody in my family because I was like, you guys need my nephew. He thought I was on like an Apple green screen. He swear to God did not think it was real. And I just sat there for a couple of hours, watched it, and I kept driving. I went to Vancouver, then we did Spokane, Washington, and then I had to drive 5 days to get to Boston to play with Colby. And that was just me in my truck.
That's badass.
The one that you saw me back in that
Bro,
spot
that's
out there.
badass.
It's so fun to get to do that stuff, but it's like...
Was that a Ford F-150?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Ford.
It all should have been a commercial.
Right.
It totally should have. But it was like, you know, when I talk about loving music and loving getting to do what I do, it's like, I don't know a ton of people who would have been that stupid to do that because that wasn't smart.
Right.
Like, none of that was smart. I should have had someone with me. Yeah. But I was like, nah, fuck it. I'll just do it alone. It's cool. I've driven cross country before, but like your drive back from Spokane to Boston is 8-hour days per day, if not 10-hour days. And oh, by the way, I'm going to stop to fish along the way. So my 10-hour day turned into a 14-hour day. But I'm like, fuck it. I got to fish.
Right.
You know, it's like none of it made sense. And it was the most fun I've had on the road.
It's called living.
Oh, man. I definitely... wasn't sitting on my couch then, that's for sure.
Sir.
So I got back from that. I wanted to write a truck driving song. And my buddy Brandon Moore, who I love him to death, and he's a great artist as well. And he was in a band called the Highway Natives, but he's been putting out his own music now. Right. And he's incredible. He's from Danville, Somerset, Kentucky. And I wrote a song with him called You Better Run, Son, which was on my last record. And then this song we wrote, he was sitting at my kitchen table. We were drinking 125 proof bourbon together. He is much shorter and smaller than I am. And he got very drunk. And I got drunk, but he got really drunk. And I had to cook him food and let him lay on the couch for a while. But we wrote this song, and it's been one of my favorites. And it's called If You Ain't In It, You Ain't Gonna Get It. And
I love it.
It's every fun part about like driving in a song that I've ever wanted. So, yeah. Well, thanks for having me, dude. I was going to say, I don't know if you got any more in that cup, but cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.
All right. This is If You Ain't In It, You Ain't Going to Get It. Well, I'm fueled up on a pit stop. Coffee and banana. I just pulled to town, I'm so loaded down, I need a backup camera. All for a little pocket change to get my ass back home. Man, I'm panhandling and manhandling like a Terry Allen song. Might have been more late, but baby, I'm right on time. One night driving, trying to stay between the line. But if you ain't in it, you ain't gonna get it. Whole lot to lose before you start winning. Burning gas and loving good women. You might think this ain't a life worth living. Waking up early, staying up late, laying down rubber on the interstate. Big 10-4, don't you forget it. If you ain't in it, you ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna. Got weighed up in Kansas, held up in Montana. I tried to get to Nashville, broke down in Texarkana, and I stayed a night in Houston and made love with Susanna. But this devil went down to Georgia and laid up with Savannah. Might have been more late, but baby, I'm right on time. One night driving, trying to stay between the line. If you ain't in it, you ain't gonna get it. Whole lot to lose before you start winning. Burning gas and loving good women. You might think this ain't a life worth living. Waking up early, staying up late, laying down rubber on the interstate. Big 10-4, don't you forget it. If you ain't in it, you ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna. Well, if you ain't in it, you ain't gonna get it. Whole lot to lose before you start winning. Burning gas and loving good women. You might think this ain't a life worth living. Waking up early, staying up late, laying down rubber on the interstate. Big 10-4, don't you forget it. If you ain't in it, you ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna. Love, you ain't gonna.
Podunk Perspective. You heard it first. Check out my man Matt Koziol on all platforms.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
It's at Matt Koziol Music. I'll spell it like the SATs. It's MATTKOZIOL Music.
And the TikTok.
Same. I think I tried to make it easy for everybody.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
No, thank you, man. I'm so happy you came on.
Dude, thanks for having me. This is fun, man.
I think I just want to think back to the first time I've heard you play was honestly I first got hired at Lucchese and you were doing
right.
CMA
Fest. Gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, man.
That was CMAs like 4 years ago.
Yeah, man. And I think that's cool. And now we're here.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh gosh, they put a pair of boots on my feet while I was playing. I was like, my feet are dirty and smelly, man. What are you guys doing out here?
Well, maybe we can have that happen again. So,
I would love that. That's fun, man. Well, dude.
Cheers.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Podunk Perspective. Make sure you go check out Matt on all platforms. And like I said, this is a great guy, and he's got some great tunes, and it's raw and it's real, man.
Oh,
it's
dude.
cool, dude.
Well, thanks, man.
Well, thanks for being on.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you guys.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in to Podunk Perspective. We drop new episodes every Monday. Till next time.